们家面面特别棒，100块钱发不出去了，50能发出去，他就知道下一个50发不出去了。
Yulong and Yang Meimei's most talked about intimate scene. Yulong and Yang Meimei have always had a special way of making their scenes feel different. Whether it is a quiet conversation, an emotional argument, a playful moment, or a romantic scene, the two seem to understand each other almost without speaking. Their chemistry often feels so natural that fans sometimes find it difficult to tell where the acting ends and genuine affection begins. But one particular intimate scene reportedly became one of the most talked about moments surrounding their work together. Fans began wondering whether the scene had gone too far and whether it might even be removed, shortened, or changed before the final version reached viewers. What made the moment so interesting was not simply the kiss itself. It was the natural chemistry surrounding it. According to online discussions, Yulong and Yang Meimei appeared extremely comfortable with each other, making the scene feel less like a carefully rehearsed performance and more like a genuine emotional moment. Before going further, however, it is important to clarify that many of the details surrounding this story come from fan discussions, online observations, and speculation. There has been no confirmed production statement proving that the scene was officially banned. Still, the mystery surrounding it has been enough to make fans ask one major question: what really happened behind the cameras? The scene allegedly began like any other romantic sequence. The actors had their positions, the cameras were ready, and the production team knew exactly what needed to happen. Romantic scenes are normally carefully planned, with every movement, camera angle, and expression considered beforehand. Yet fans believe Yulong and Yang Meimei have developed a different kind of working relationship. Because they are reportedly very familiar with each other, they appear to understand one another's timing almost instinctively. One reacts to the other, a small expression changes the mood, and suddenly the entire scene feels more natural. This becomes especially noticeable during their romantic and kissing scenes. Instead of appearing overly dramatic or uncomfortable, they often seem relaxed and emotionally connected. A pause before a kiss, a particular look, a smile afterward, or simply the way they stand close together can make a scene feel believable. Fans have repeatedly pointed out that their romantic moments sometimes look less like two actors pretending to be in love, and more like two people who already understand each other's habits. That is what makes their scenes so captivating. According to fan discussions, the most memorable part of the controversial scene was reportedly how completely absorbed the two became in the moment. Rather than appearing nervous, they seemed to work together effortlessly. The kiss was supposedly meant to represent an important emotional turning point between their characters, but viewers began discussing whether the chemistry had become almost too convincing. Some fans jokingly suggested that the director may have needed to remind them that the cameras were still rolling. Others believed their familiarity with each other allowed them to forget the stiffness that can sometimes appear during romantic scenes between actors. And this is where the story becomes even more interesting. When two performers have strong chemistry, viewers naturally begin wondering how much of what they see is acting and how much comes naturally. In Yulong and Yang Meimei's case, fans are especially curious because their interactions often appear effortless. They reportedly know when to give each other space and when to move closer. They seem to understand facial expressions, timing, and subtle gestures without needing lengthy explanations. That ability to anticipate each other can make their scenes incredibly smooth. The alleged behind-the-scenes story surrounding the intimate scene therefore became almost as interesting as the scene itself. Some online discussions claimed that the production team had concerns about how intense the final footage appeared. This eventually led fans to use phrases such as almost banned or almost cut. However, there is an important distinction here. There has been no reliable confirmation that the scene was literally banned. Drama productions frequently edit romantic scenes for many reasons, including pacing, tone, ratings, or broadcast standards. A scene may be filmed one way and later shortened, rearranged, or softened during editing. So the possibility of changes is understandable, but fans should be careful about treating online rumors as confirmed facts. What cannot easily be ignored, however, is the chemistry between Yulong and Yang Meimei. Their ability to trust each other's timing allows them to perform romantic scenes with confidence. When they are required to kiss, they reportedly focus less on making the moment look dramatic and more on expressing the emotions of their characters. That professional trust can make a huge difference. Instead of worrying about every movement, the actors can concentrate on the emotional meaning of the scene. Their connection also seems visible outside the kissing scenes. A simple look across a room can become meaningful. A playful smile can change the atmosphere. Even when the script only requires them to stand beside each other, fans often notice how comfortable they appear. Sometimes the most believable romantic moments are not perfectly choreographed. A character may hesitate for a second, smile unexpectedly, or react naturally to the other person's expression. Those small imperfections can make a scene feel alive. Fans have even developed theories that Yulong and Yang Meimei may be comfortable enough with each other to make small adjustments within a scene. Instead of simply repeating the exact same movements after every take, they can respond to each other's expressions and timing. That kind of coordination requires trust, and it could be one reason their romantic performances appear so convincing. But there is an important difference between convincing acting and real life. Even if the two actors are genuinely close, what viewers see on screen is still part of a professional production. Directors, cinematographers, editors, and other crew members all contribute to the final scene. The camera determines what the audience sees. Editing determines which moments remain. Music and sound can make a simple glance feel much more emotional. So a romantic scene that looks spontaneous to viewers may actually be the result of careful teamwork behind the scenes. Still, fans cannot help wondering whether Yulong and Yang Meimei sometimes become so comfortable with each other that their interactions naturally look real. The speculation becomes strongest when their smiles appear spontaneous, their reactions are immediate, or they seem completely comfortable standing close together. These moments create the impression that the actors are not forcing the chemistry because they already understand one another. That may be why their kissing scenes have generated so much discussion. A kiss between two actors can sometimes look obviously choreographed. Viewers notice the hesitation, positioning, and careful timing. But when two performers are comfortable with each other, the same scene can feel much more natural. Fans believe Yulong and Yang Meimei fall into this category because their chemistry makes the moment appear to unfold naturally rather than simply being performed. At the same time, the almost banned claim should still be treated carefully. There is a huge difference between a scene being discussed, edited, shortened, or considered too intense and a scene actually being banned. Online fandoms can sometimes turn small production details into dramatic stories. One comment can become a rumor can become a theory, and eventually the theory may be repeated as if it were confirmed information. So the safest conclusion is to separate what fans observed from what has actually been confirmed. What fans have clearly observed is the chemistry. What remains uncertain is exactly what happened behind the cameras. There may have been discussions about the intimacy of the scene, but there is no confirmed evidence proving that the entire sequence was officially banned. Nevertheless, the fact that fans noticed the scene so strongly says something about how convincing the performance was. Yulong and Yang Meimei's greatest strength may not even be the kiss itself. It may be everything that happens before it. A romantic moment becomes powerful when viewers understand why the characters are attracted to each other. If the chemistry is believable before the kiss becomes the natural result of the emotional tension rather than the entire point of the scene. Their eye contact, silence, smiles, small gestures, and reactions reportedly help create that tension. By the time the romantic moment arrives, viewers are already emotionally invested. There is also a professional advantage to working with someone you know well. You understand their timing, know how they react, and can communicate quickly. But the challenge is maintaining professionalism while performing emotionally intense scenes. If Yulong and Yang Meimei have truly mastered that balance, it would explain why their scenes appear so effortless. The more fans examine their performances, the more they notice the little details. A slight change in Yulong's expression can prompt a reaction from Yang Meimei. A pause from Yang Meimei can cause Yulong to adjust his timing. These tiny responses make the scene feel alive. And perhaps that is why the alleged controversial scene became such a major talking point. It may not have been shocking simply because of the kiss. It was the chemistry surrounding the kiss that caught people's attention. Viewers could reportedly feel the connection before the characters even moved closer. Another possibility is simply that the two became more comfortable with romantic scenes after working together for a long time. What might have felt awkward at first could eventually become part of their professional routine. They learn each other's boundaries, understand how to communicate during difficult scenes, and become confident enough to trust the process. For their fans, however, there is an even deeper interpretation. Supporters of the pair often see their chemistry as evidence of a special connection between them. Every smile becomes meaningful. Every glance becomes something to analyze, and every romantic scene creates another discussion about whether their on-screen relationship reflects something real. That enthusiasm is understandable, but viewers still cannot know everything happening privately between two people. What we can appreciate is the performance itself. Yulong and Yang Meimei appear to understand romantic storytelling. They know how to make a scene emotional without relying entirely on exaggerated gestures. Sometimes a quiet look is enough. Sometimes a simple touch communicates more than a long conversation. And sometimes a kiss works because everything that happened before it made the audience believe it was inevitable. So, was Yulong and Yang Meimei's most intimate scene really close to being banned? At this point, the answer remains uncertain. There may have been discussions about the intensity of the scene, but there is no confirmed evidence that it was officially banned. What is much easier to see is the chemistry that made the moment memorable in the first place. Their ability to work freely, trust each other's timing, and create believable romantic moments has become one of the most talked about aspects of their performances. Perhaps that is the real secret behind their scenes. It is not simply the kiss. It is everything that happens before, during, and after it. The looks, smiles, comfort, timing, and emotional connection. When all those elements come together, viewers can momentarily forget that they are watching actors on a set. For fans, that is exactly what makes Yulong and Yang Meimei so fascinating. Every new romantic scene brings another wave of discussion, another round of theories, and another question about how much of their chemistry comes from acting and how much comes naturally. But remember, claims that the scene was nearly banned, that the production team reacted strongly, or that the actors forgot they were acting remain speculation unless the actors or production team themselves confirm them. Enjoy the chemistry, enjoy the drama, and treat the rumors as rumors. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for more Yulong and Yang Meimei stories.